Most of us know the Neanderthals as big, brute, dim-witted, and funny-looking cavemen. The rest might picture them more as these guys. While there are elements of the Neanderthals in these depictions, they are mostly based on misinformation and myths. The real Neanderthals have a more robust skeleton, a heavy, bony brow ridge, large nasal openings, and they lack a chin. We might view them as a more primitive human, but they actually have a larger brain volume than modern humans. We actually share more genes with the Neanderthals than we realize. We share about 1-4 of our genome with the Neanderthals, indicating that some of our ancestors crossbred with them. That means that you are very likely to be part Neanderthal yourself. Throughout history, archaeologists and anthropologists were quick to point out all of the little differences that made us unique. For example, we theorized that the reason for our large brains was because of our extended period of developmental immaturity. Let me explain in simpler terms. Our large brains are a result of our long childhood. Most animals mature in a few months to a few years. We take 25 years to fully develop. This doesn't come without its downsides, however. Our children are vulnerable and dependent on their parents. It's a huge investment to have a child, so most only have a few in a lifetime. Despite these traits originally being considered unique to humans, it's shown that Neanderthals shared a lot of them. For example, the weaning of Neanderthal and human children is very similar. Weaning is the process of transitioning a mammal's food source from milk to solid foods. Early scientists thought that the early weaning found in humans is responsible for our large brains, as neurological development has high nutritional demands. Upon studying 4 Neanderthal teeth from 3 different Neanderthals, Fumane and Raparo-Breuer, scientists were able to determine the approximate time of weaning. They did this by analyzing the Sinia or Ca ratio along the enamel dentine junction EDJ, which is notably lower in newborns who are exclusively breastfed. The results found that 2 of the 3 Neanderthals underwent weaning in the normal human range. This suggests that there was not a difference in weaning between Neanderthals and humans, thus proving that early weaning is not a unique human trait. Another study sought to find the difference of brain size at birth between the 2 species. It turns out that our large brain size is not necessarily due to an extended period of growth. Rather, our brains are the result of higher growth rates at birth. While this evidence is scarcely represented in the fossil record, we can find that modern human-like ontogenetic traits are present in H. erectus. We also find that there was similar brain growth in Neanderthals and anatomically modern humans AMHS, suggesting that we are more alike than we think. Speaking of brains, top geneticists have created Neanderthal brain organoids in order to predict tissue structure. Lead researcher Alison Wotry of UCSD has engineered stem cells to include Neanderthal genes, growing them into mini-brains or organoids. These cells have a different shape than their human counterparts, which may have influenced the species' socializing ability. While the research is not definitive, the Neanderthalized cells migrate more quickly as they form structures. They have a popcorn shape and have fewer synaptic connections. Wotry is quoted for noting that the differences mirror neuronal development with children that have autism, specifically the defects responsible for socialization. This makes sense if we are to believe one advantage humans have over other species is our highly social tendencies. The extinction of the Neanderthals is a highly debated subject. Most anthropologists credit their extinction because of climate changes or competition with humans. A simulation was used to determine geographic projections of ecocultural niches for each species. Basically, this means that scientists were able to study where Neanderthals and humans would have lived. Using this information, you can study the overlap and the extent of the species spread across the globe. They disproved the climate theory because as the conditions became warmer and wetter, they observed an expansion of the Neanderthals' niche. Therefore, human competition is the more accepted model. As you can see, Neanderthals are actually very similar to humans. All of these traits that we once assumed to be unique to us are actually way more common than we realize. Our brains are only slightly different and our childhood is similar in duration. Yes, we may look different, but we exploited much of the same ecological niches. They're not some primitive, savage caveman. Next time you study Neanderthals, don't underestimate them, respect them as a close ancestor to the human species. Thanks for watching and have a great day.